The combustion reaction actually take place inside the boiler. Like first one is carbon. All those reaction is nothing but oxidation reaction. Sorry, it should be placed by arrow. Never put any equal to sign. Then second reaction, hydrogen is there. So hydrogen also will be oxidized. All those oxidation reaction will take place inside that combustion chamber. So it should be balanced first, just like the class 8-9 standard. So if you put 2 here, 2 here, then sulfur, if it is present in the fuel, then it is also to be oxidized during the combustion, because combustion is nothing but a oxidation process. And if it is incomplete combustion, then some carbon monoxide also will be formed. This is the balanced. Mind it, this only will occur if the combustion is incomplete. If it is mentioned in the problem that its complete combustion is taking place, then obviously you can consider that carbon dioxide is not generated, carbon monoxide is not generating there. Okay. Now what we are going to see, we are going to work out a simple childhood numericals. Like this thing actually very known to us. We are going to find out that what amount of oxygen needed for the oxidation process, or rather say what is the minimum amount of air. Now what we are going to find out from here, our find out is what is the minimum amount of air we have to supply to the combustion chamber. That we are going to find out first. Combustion chamber, and this minimum amount of air is also referred as theoretical amount of air. If this term is used in the numerical, so mind it, it is asking you that what is the minimum amount of air. They are actually synonym term. Theoretical amount of air. Both this term frequently used. First of all, we should find out this thing. Just to find out that thing, what we are going to do, our flow chart or our proceeding will be such like, first we are going to find out that during this combustion reaction, what is the amount of oxygen we require. I am repeating my words. First we are going to find out, just for the sake of this combustion reactions, what amount of oxygen we require. Okay. After finding that oxygen amount, then we know that in the atmospheric air, what is the amount of oxygen normally available to us. Mind it, there is 2%. One is volume to volume ratio and one is mass to mass ratio. Okay, that 21% of oxygen is available, that is in volume ratio or volume percentage. But we should consider here the mass percentage, because in terms of kg we are going to find out. And we know that in mass percentage, that is 23.2 kg of oxygen is available in atmospheric air. Okay, so just considering that value, we will see that this amount of oxygen will be available for how much amount of air. That will be the procedure. Okay, let's start. So I am removing the all thing just to use the full board. First concentrating on this equation, C plus O2, it will form CO2. Now just recall your memory to get the molecular weight, or you can say molar mass, for every atom. Like C, it is, if I consider like 12 kg, then oxygen it will be 32 kg, and according to that carbon dioxide will be 44 kg. I think you can recall your memory. Carbon atomic mass, oxygen atomic mass 16, so molecular mass will be 32, or molar mass you can say. carbon and oxygen, just couple them. So 12 plus 32, 44 will be there. So if you burn 12 kg of carbon along with 32 kg of oxygen, it will give you 44 kg of carbon dioxide. So just I convert that thing with respect to unit. So for 1 kg it will be 2.67 kg. Use your calculator and check if I am wrong there. And it will be 3.67 kg with respect to 1 kg of carbon. Now just consider that in 1 kg of fuel there is C kg of carbon. Why you are considering C? Because I have to develop a general expression. Okay, considering that in 1 kg of fuel, in 1 kg fuel, C kg carbon is there. Just to develop a general expression, I am assuming that. So for C kg of carbon, it will be 2.67 C kg of oxygen will be required, and it will form 3.67 C kg of carbon dioxide. If anybody having any difficulty, then please, this is the equation will be needed afterwards. Then go with the hydrogen reaction. It is also oxidized in that combustion chamber. So after balancing, it is look like this. So hydrogen, it is 4 kg along with oxygen 32 kg, and water is neither 36 kg of water will be produced. It is obviously moisture in a gaseous form, it will be produced. Okay. Similarly for 1 kg, the same procedure, it will be 8 kg and it will be 8 kg. If I am doing any mistake anywhere, then please mark it. Oh, sorry, 4-9, right? Now it's right. And again, I am considering that if 1 kg of fuel, hydrogen is H kg. Hydrogen, H kg of hydrogen is there. Okay. So for H kg of hydrogen, it will be 8 H kg of oxygen, and it is 9 H kg of moisture will be produced. Left hand side obviously they are reactant, and right hand side that is a product, we know. And sulfur, if it is there in the fuel, so it will also oxidize like this manner. Sulfur atomic mass is 32 and oxygen will be also 32, and sulfur dioxide, counted properly, it will be 64. They all will be kg. So similar fashion, if we consider for in 1 kg fuel, S kg of sulfur is there, then for S kg it will be 32 S kg of oxygen and 64. Do it. So for S kg it will be also S kg and it will be 2 S kg. Do it. So up to this limit, what we see we have seen that during the combustion, what are the oxidation reaction actually take place inside the combustion chamber. If anybody up to this limit having any difficulty, then please. And all this assumption they are considering for 1 kg of fuel. That means for 1 kg coal, these are the composition. Okay. Now I should wipe it out. So if I consider now for 1 kg, so I can write hence for 1 kg fuel, the oxygen required for complete combustion we haven't considered there is any incomplete combustion, we haven't considered yet. Okay, that's why carbon monoxide we haven't noted down. So if you want to count this particular thing, that for 1 kg fuel, what is the amount of oxygen required for 1 kg fuel burning? Okay, just mind it, we have just counted for 1 kg fuel what is the amount of oxygen required. For carbon it will be 2.67 C. Then go for the hydrogen, it will be 8H, and for sulfur it will be S only. Just we have taken these values from the previous page. And one thing should be subtracted over here, minus O, that is not 0, it is O. Why I am subtracting this O, and what does this O means? This O means what amount of oxygen is remains stored inside the fuel. Repeating my words, this is the amount of oxygen which is already stored inside the fuel, inside the porosity of the fuel. Some amount of oxygen always will be stored. Okay, so I am writing that thing. It is the oxygen entrapped in the fuel, you can say, or stored in the fuel, you can say, stored in the fuel. So obviously if some amount of oxygen already stored inside the fuel, so it will some amount of compensation will be done by this particular oxygen. So what amount of oxygen we have to supply from our atmosphere, that way we have to subtract this oxygen, because this will actually compensate some requirement. If you are unable to understand, then please, that's why I am subtracting this particular oxygen that is actually previously stored inside the fuel. So this is the expression, and that expression will give you that what amount of oxygen we have to supply for 1 kg fuel burning. Mind it is for 1 kg fuel burning, and it is a complete combustion. Now we consider that we know that 23.2% of oxygen in air. Mind it is mass percentage, not considering the volume percentage. If we consider volume, it will be 21%. What does this mean? That means for 100 kg of air, we are having normally 23.2 kg of oxygen. Understood? So for 1 kg of air, how much oxygen will be there? Obviously 0.232 kg of oxygen will be there, isn't it? Simple unitary method. So from here what we can see? We can see that hence for complete combustion of 1 kg fuel, the minimum, it is the minimum amount of air actually what we are going to find out. Minimum amount of air, that is also known as theoretical air, a theoretical amount of air. Minimum amount of air required, I am expressing that thing by WT. Okay, T stands for theoretical, subscript T, that is indicating that is the theoretical amount, and W stands for nothing but a weight. Okay, so it is also known as minimum amount of air required or theoretical amount of air required. What should be it? It must be, name this expression by something WO2. WO2 means weight of oxygen. This amount of oxygen is required for 1 kg of fuel, complete combustion. Okay, so now just using the simple childhood unitary method, if 0.232 kg oxygen is achievable from 1 kg of air, then this amount of oxygen will be available from what amount of air? A simple unitary method. It must be WO2 divided by this 0.232. If it is understood by you people, then it's good. If anybody having any confusion, then please, it is indicating a simple unitary method. What is that? If 0.232 kg oxygen we can get from 1 kg of air, then this amount of oxygen we can achieve from this amount of air. So this is giving you that minimum amount of air or theoretical amount of air we require. Now put all those values over here, that is 2.67 C divided by 0.232. Just expand this equation. 8 by 0.232 H plus S by 0.232 and minus O by 0.232. So just a kind of simple expansion, and if you do the fair calculation over there, so it will give you a equation or expression which will give you do the calculation with your own calculator and you can get. I am taking this H and O along with a single bracket. Okay, understood? I am taking that H and O term, just taking a common, 1 by 0.232 taking a common. Suppose I am writing this thing like this way, 8 by 0.232 H minus O by 8. Why I am writing this? Just note it down, then I will tell you. Okay, so plus 4.3s, 4.3s. So if you simplify it more, so it will give you 11.5 C plus 34.5 within bracket H minus O by 8 plus 4.3 S. That is the expression to find out the theoretical amount of air or minimum amount of air we require for complete combustion of 1 kg of fuel. Now why I am writing this H minus O by 8 term in a single parenthesis? The reason is that this is the hydrogen which is actually available in the fuel, and that is the oxygen, it is also available in the fuel. So during the combustion, the hydrogen stored in the fuel, it readily burnt with the stored oxygen in the fuel. So that's why I am taking these two parts along with the bracket. So if you subtract them, H minus O by 8, then that expression will give you that left out hydrogen which is to be burned by the air. That means obviously H minus O by 8, H amount is higher than this O by 8. So some leftover hydrogen will be remain there inside the fuel, and that leftover hydrogen will be burnt by our supplying air. Okay, that's why it is nothing complex is there. Just you may change the expression. It will not affect the numerical problem, but I keep these two things along with the bracket. So this expression only will give you that what amount of hydrogen is left out, and that hydrogen is to be burnt by the supply of excess air. Okay, so that whole expression you should note it down properly, and that if in the problem you are asked that what is the theoretical amount or minimum amount of air required to supply to complete combustion, to achieve complete combustion, so just we have to solve this expression. Now this CHOS, how you can substitute these values? Mind it, this expression whatever we have developed here, C or H or O or S, they will be substituted from the given data in your problem, and they will be substituted in this equation in terms of 1 kg. Mind it, suppose in the problem it will be given in percentage, like carbon 60%, hydrogen 3%, sulfur 5%. This percentage will be there, it will be given. Now you have to substitute here in place of C or O or H by what? By terms of 1 kg. That means for 1 kg fuel you have to convert those percent value. That means if it is 60% carbon is there in the problem data, then you have to put it over there 0.6. If hydrogen is given 5% in the data, given data, then you have to put here 0.05, because they are given in terms of 100 kg. Are you getting me or not, beta? কেউ একজন কমিউনিকেট করো, আমি বুঝতে পারছি না, কেউ বুঝতে পারছো কি পারছো? Thank you. So this expression will give you to find out that what amount of minimum amount of air we need to supply for 1 kg of complete combustion of fuel. Okay. So obviously I already told you that always this minimum amount of air will not solve our purpose. So we have to supply some excess amount of air. We have to supply some excess amount of air to complete the combustion. Okay. So if that one is a minimum amount of air, then we have to find out what is the actual amount of air is supplied. Now we are going to find that what is the actual amount of air we have to supply. That we are going to find out now. Okay, so obviously that actual amount of air will be more than the theoretical one. There is no doubt about it. Now one thing should be considered over here, that regarding the nitrogen, that we should point it down here properly, that in the air nitrogen is in bulk amount. If 23.2% of oxygen is available in air, then along with it 76.8% of nitrogen is also available in the air, and they all are giving you mass percentage, mind it. Volume no, mass percentage. So we should take that nitrogen into account now. Okay, so if it is mass percentage, we can say in volume percentage 21% of oxygen is there, and along with we consider 79% of nitrogen is there. It is volume percentage. Okay, it is also deals with also air. Now what we are going to see, we know that what is amount of substance expressed in SI unit, that is mole. Mole is very important. Okay, so mole means it's a basic unit. From our childhood knowledge we know that mole is expressed for amount of substance, and that is nothing but a volume. It is expressed by mole. So we can say from this ratio that 21 moles of oxygen, it is equal with 79 moles of nitrogen, isn't it? Because that is volume is nothing but the mole. So 21 moles of oxygen always comes with 79 moles of nitrogen, always inside air, atmospheric air. That relationship will be there. So while we are supplying 1 mole of oxygen, so along with that, if you divide that 79 by 21, you can check it out, it will give you 3.76 moles of nitrogen. What I am going to establish over here, I am going to establish that what amount of nitrogen always will come with oxygen. Here we can see that 1 mole of oxygen carries with 3.76 moles of nitrogen along with it. But mind it, nitrogen never takes part in the chemical reaction. It's an inert one, kind of inert. It never reacts with the combustion, but it will be there. So mass will always will be included there. Okay, so you can see that 1 mole of oxygen carry 3.76 mole of nitrogen along with it. ठीक है, just keep this value in your mind. So now we are going to find out this one. What should I do now? We should find that, suppose that for the complete combustion, suppose we are supplying more air just to complete that combustion. Okay, so I can write this thing, if I write like this, that for each mole of oxygen, taking part in a combustion reaction, there are this 3.76 moles of nitrogen always will be there. If I write this thing like this way, now if we consider that we have to assume a particular value, that what amount of excess air we have to supply, that we have to consider a value. Okay, so if we need to supply some amount of excess air, we can consider that let A moles of oxygen, like we are considering, that A mole of oxygen need to supply in combustion chamber. Okay, then if it is excess supply, then what will be the reaction now? Obviously carbon is remain there, hydrogen is also there, sulfur is also there, some amount of oxygen is also present in the fuel. This thing already is there. Now along with A mole of oxygen we are supplying excess. Along with A mole, what amount of nitrogen will be there? If A mole of oxygen is supplied, then along with 3.76 A mole of nitrogen will be there, because 1 mole of oxygen carrying 3.76 mole, then A mole of oxygen will carry 3.76 A mole of nitrogen along with it. This is the amount of excess oxygen we are supplying inside. Okay, and along the right side of the reaction, obviously those oxides will be there. Carbon dioxide, it may be carbon monoxide may be there if it is incomplete combustion, sulfur dioxide also can be there, and this nitrogen always will be there, and it will not take part in the chemical reaction. That's why nitrogen is always will be there in the unchanged form. Obviously moisture will also present there. What we can see here, we can see that some amount of excess oxygen we have supplied with the combustion chamber, inside the combustion chamber, and along with that excess amount of oxygen, that nitrogen is also included, and these are the product where the nitrogen is unchanged there. Okay, now we are going to do the calculation part. Just think over this. Now we are taking a simple example with some real data, then it will be more easy to understand. Okay, just I am assuming a simple data, then we will see the process. It will much more easy with some real data. Like suppose data is given, one second ঘুমটান এই দরজাটা বন্ধ কর মা, গান বাজে না, বন্ধ কর। হয়নি বন্ধ। Yes, now suppose some data I am taking to elaborate the thing. Okay, like let in a fuel carbon is given 60%, okay, hydrogen is given 4%, sorry, and sulfur is given 3.2%, and oxygen stored in the fuel, that is 4.8%, nitrogen is 2%, that is moisture. M stands for moisture, mind it, that is 5% in the fuel, and A stands for ash. Okay, A stands for ash, that is 21%. Mind it, M stands for moisture and A stands for ash. They are not a symbol of any atom. Okay, that is fuel composition. Fuel composition. Now coming with the exhaust gas volumetric analysis. So by volumetric analysis, what data we are getting? By volumetric analysis, what data we are getting now? One experiment is being done, analysis process. We are getting, suppose like this data is given, CO2 plus SO2, I am getting 12%. It is a flue gas composition. Okay, carbon monoxide we are getting 2%. Oxygen, some oxygen will be remain there unutilized, that is 4%, and nitrogen is given 82%. What does this mean? That means after getting the flue gas, you have to analyze it with some proper instrument will be there. Instrument name is ORSAT apparatus. ORSAT apparatus is the instrument by which this analysis part can be done. It's a volumetric analysis. Okay. So carbon monoxide is present, so it's the incomplete combustion. Oxygen, it is remain unutilized, that is 4%. Nitrogen, huge, 82%, and combination of CO2 and SO2, that is 12%. It is the volumetric analysis data is given. Okay. Now, how the process will be going on? Let A moles of oxygen. Okay, already I have written this thing. Okay, that thing. Okay, I am removing that one and using this particular part. Let A moles of oxygen be supplied, that will be supplied oxygen from atmosphere by us for 100 kg of fuel. That means for 100 kg of fuel burning, you need A moles of oxygen. Why I am considering 100 kg? Because those data are given in all their percentage. That's why I am considering A moles of oxygen is supplied for 100 kg of fuel. So the combustion reaction, how it will be written? Combustion reaction was carbon, then along with hydrogen, then along sulfur, then some amount of oxygen stored in the fuel, and some amount of oxygen we have to supply from our external atmosphere, and nitrogen also will be there, that is the reactant part, and in the product part carbon dioxide will be there, and rest of along with this incomplete combustion, you can see carbon monoxide is present there, along with sulfur dioxide also is there. Some amount of oxygen is remain unused or unutilized, along with nitrogen is there, and moisture coming. That will be the combustion reaction. Now why I am keeping in front some space available? Because I have to put some molar mass over here. That means here this place will be occupied by number of moles. This space will be occupied by number of moles. Number of mole, how we can find out, beta? It's a very class 7, 8, not 7, 8, 8, 9 standard question. Number of moles can be find out by mass, that means physical mass, what we are getting, divided by molar mass. That is the very well known formula, must for you people. If you are not, actually you can forget, so it's a recapitulation. So number of moles you can find out by using this particular relationship. Now the mass is given, that for 60%, 40%, they are given in terms of percentage. Okay, so what will be the number of mole for carbon? It is 60%, and the molar mass is 12, so it should be 60 by 12. Hydrogen is given 4% and 4 with respect to molar, so it is 2. Oh sorry, H2. Then coming with sulfur, sulfur is given 3.2%, so 3.2 divided by sulfur is nothing but 32. Then coming with oxygen, that is 4.8%, so 4.8 divided by again 32. And now this is the oxygen we have to supply, and I have considered that is the A mole already mentioned, so A should be there. that is the excess amount of oxygen we are supplying from atmosphere, and that is the oxygen which is stored inside the fuel. And we already assume that A moles of oxygen we are supplying for 100 kg fuel, so A should be there. Okay, and if you supply A mole of oxygen, along with that how much nitrogen will come along with the oxygen? That should be 3.76 A. Already I have explained that thing previously. Reactant part completed. Coming with the output part or product part. Now we have to consider our assumption. We should assume some mole, because we don't know that what amount of carbon dioxide, carbon monoxide will come in there. Now we have to find out this particular mole. Okay, like I can put some assumed mole value. Suppose it is B. C we will not consider, because C is already symbolized for carbon, so we will not consider C here. I can put for D. Then it is sulfur dioxide E, that means number of moles I am assuming, so it is F, it is G, and it is H. These are the assumed number of moles, and we have to find out the value of this coefficient. Actually they are representing number of moles, but you can use simple balancing technique. In childhood, balancing of equation we have done using a special technique which is known as algebraic method. If you have forgot, then I can help you. Algebraic method of balancing. Trial and error method is a very common method, but algebraic method is much more easy to solve, by which you can find out this coefficient value or this number of moles value. So what we are going to find out? This B, D, E, F, G, H values. So I can write here by equating the coefficients. By equating the coefficient, what we can write? Like for carbon, how we can write? See here in the output part, carbon is there, carbon is here. So I can add these two value, coefficient value B plus D, and it will match with the left side, that is 60 by 12. 60 by 12 means only 5. So first expression I am getting B plus D equals to 5. This one, carbon. Then going with hydrogen. It's a simple technique. It's not a tough one, but it's an interesting one. Hydrogen, here you can see it's 2, and here you can get hydrogen from here. So what does this mean? That means H equals to 2. Finally, H equals to 2. But noise is coming here. 1 second. Am I audible? Thank you. Basically, noise is, yes, one noise is coming from my headphone actually. So after moving hydrogen, completion of hydrogen, then go for sulfur. If we find for sulfur, then from the left side you can see 3.2 by 32, so it's mean 0.1, and in the right side it is E, so E is nothing but 0.1. The simple technique. Then coming for oxygen, you can see in the left hand side, that is A, and here 4.8 by 32, so it A plus 4.8 by 32 in the left hand side. 1 second, 4.8 by 32, how much it is? 4.8 by 32, so 0.15, so I can write it 0.15 in the left hand side, and in the right hand side it will be, see, where is hydrogen, oxygen? Here. So B plus, here only one oxygen is there. Now if we convert that O into O2, then it will be D by 2, isn't it? Obviously it will be, because we are concentrating for O2. Here sulfur dioxide, oxygen is there, so E add. Then here also F will be added. Then plus here O is there, so it should be H by 2. Simple technique. Just count all those coefficient in the right hand side, whatever we are getting here. So that expression is only standing for oxygen. Okay, now if we go for nitrogen, the space is, I can write here actually. Now if we go for nitrogen, the same thing. Here you can see nitrogen in the left hand side, that is 3.76A, and here it is G, so G is nothing but 3.76A. These are the things 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. We do have 5 number of equations. Okay, now we have to find out this B, D, E, F, G values. Now already we actually I have erased the thing. Already from given data some information was given, that is CO2 plus SO2 was given for 12%, it is given. Then carbon monoxide is also given 2%, and oxygen was given 4%, and nitrogen 82% was given in the problem data. So what we can do now, we can do a simple calculation. So I can write here from DFG analysis. DFG means dry flue gas, that is DFG. And I already told you people at the beginning that dry flue gas means we don't consider the moisture inside the flue gas. Moisture obviously will be there, but we are not bothering regarding this particular analysis while we are mention it by DFG analysis. Okay, so now go for first one, CO2 plus SO2 12%. Now here CO2 is B and SO2 is E. So find the value of carbon first. Carbon I have mentioned that CO2 plus SO2, that is 12%, and B, where those coefficient, let me watch first. Yes, CO2 is here and SO2 is here. Check this equation. So I named it CO2 by B mole and SO2 by E mole. So I can write like this, check it out, B plus E, that is the number of mole of CO2 and SO2. Okay, and if we convert in 1 kg of fuel, so divided by, I am taking the dry flue gas only, B plus D plus E plus F plus G, and it will be equal with 0.12. Check what I have done. I have done nothing special. I have considering this CO2 plus SO2 percentage, it is given 12%. It is given in the data. Okay, so 12% means for 100 kg of flue gas, 12 kg is CO2 plus SO2. Very good. Now if we consider for 1 kg of flue gas, it will be 0.12. Okay, so that 0.12 is coming here. Now it is for 1 kg of fuel. Okay. Now in the whole flue gas, if we eliminate that moisture, then what will be the number of mole of flue gas for dry flue gas? That is B plus D plus E plus F plus G. Okay, so this B plus D plus E plus F plus G, that is the whole amount of dry flue gas, and inside that dry flue gas, what is the amount of CO2 and SO2? That is B plus E. So we can write a unitary method statement like this: for B plus D plus E plus F plus G, amount of flue gas CO2 and SO2 contains B plus E mole, B plus E mole. Then for 1 kg of dry flue gas, it will be B plus E divided by the whole amount of dry flue gas. Are you getting me or not? This expression is giving you that amount of CO2 and SO2 with respect to 1 kg of dry flue gas. I can write the statement for you people to understand more clearly. This particular expression giving you amount of CO2 plus SO2 in 1 kg of dry flue gas. This expression, and that is expressed by problem, that is 12%. So that should be considered by 1 kg. That's why 0.12 is coming. Now is it good or bad? Understood or not? So that is coming for only CO2 and SO2 part. This expression is good. Then basically the space is very short, so I have to remove some part. Now go for this carbon monoxide part. Carbon monoxide, in the problem equation I have mentioned by D, doing the same thing whatever I have done over here. So I can write for carbon it is for CO2 and SO2. Now if I do the same thing for carbon monoxide, so what will give you? D by that whole expression, denominator will be remain same, B plus D plus E plus F plus G, that is the dry flue gas amount, and it will be 2%. So convert it into for 1 kg. This is the second expression, this is the first expression, and this expression for CO. Understood? Same thing. Then go for the third one. 4% is given, that is oxygen. Okay, so oxygen here, that is F. So F by the total dry flue gas, B plus D plus E plus F plus G, same thing. How much? 4%, so 0.04. Third expression, and it is for oxygen. And coming with nitrogen. Nitrogen here in the output part, it is expressed by G mole. So G by the same thing again, denominator will be remain same, B plus D plus E plus F plus G, and it is given 82%, so 0.82. It is the fourth equation, and it is for nitrogen. Bus. That's the up to this. Now you have to solve these equations 1, 2, 3, 4. Solving this equation, you can get the coefficient value, that means number of moles value. If we now get the number of moles, then from there you can find the value of A. Basically the important thing is A. We have to find out. How we can find out this? How we can solve these equations? You can see that all the denominator part is same. This. So just take any two equation and divide one by other. Like if we consider this one is one equation, this is, suppose I am considering like equation 1, and that is equation number 2. Okay, so if you just divide equation 1 by equation 2, so the denominator part will be cancelled, and you are getting a value, that is B plus E by D equals to something. Similarly, if we divide equation 1 by equation 3, then again you are getting some value. So by this dividing technique, easily you can solve this equation. Are you getting me? Just simple division technique follow. 1 by 2 or 2 by 4. If you divide these equations, obviously the denominator part immediately vanished. So by solving those 4 equations, any method you can use to solve them. You have to find this value. Suppose I have find those values like this manner, that D is equals to 0.73. You can do the calculation along with your pen and copy afterwards. You can check if there is any mistake from my side or not. Then F is nothing but 1.46. I have solved this equation and getting this value like this, 7.045. G is 29.13. It may occur that some calculation is occurring for my side, some error is coming, so you solve it then. Okay, and E value already we got from that initial part, that is 0.1. So just after getting this value, already you can see that A value is known to yours. So now you can find the actual amount of air. How? Simple technique beta. Key technique. A value is nothing but the amount of the mole of air you are supplying inside for the complete combustion. Okay, so we know that sorry, for we have considered that for 100 kg coal, we are considering the fuel as a coal. Okay, for 100 kg coal, oxygen required, we assumed that is A moles. We have assumed so. ঠিক আছে, এটাই অ্যাজিউম করেছিলাম যে 100 কেজি কোলকে কম্বাসন করার জন্য উই নিড টু সাপ্লাই A moles of oxygen. So for 1 kg of coal, basically all we have to convert it into 1 kg. That's why 1 kg is coming repeatedly. A by 100 moles. Okay, and we know that in oxygen air 23.2 kg of oxygen is available by mass, isn't it? So I can say that if this 1 kg of coal burned with the help of this mole of oxygen, then what we can say that we know that 100 kg of air contains 23.2 kg of oxygen. I am removing these parts. Now what we can write? 1 mole of oxygen is nothing but 32 kg of oxygen in terms of mass, isn't it? So in 1 kg coal, the amount of oxygen required A by 100 mole. So A by 100 mole of oxygen means 32 A by 100 kg of oxygen. Just I am converting the mole in terms of mass, physical mass. So A by 100 amount of moles is required, oxygen required for 1 kg of coal burning. So that amount of mole, if you convert it into kg, that will be the amount of kg of oxygen, isn't it? Now this amount of oxygen we require, we need to supply. This amount of oxygen we need to supply for complete combustion. But you know that we cannot supply only oxygen individually, isn't it? So if we want to supply this amount of oxygen, then I have to find out for getting this amount of oxygen, what is the required amount of air, isn't it? Because we are not going to supply oxygen only, not possible. So 23.2 kg oxygen available in 100 kg air. So this amount of 32 A by 100 kg of oxygen available in, just do a simple cancellation process, it will give you 32 A by 23.2. You just do the simple calculation, it will give you this. 100 will be getting cancelled, this 100 will be in numerator, this 100 will be in denominator, so they will be cancelled, nothing else. Okay, so this amount at kg of air, this amount of air we need to supply. Now that particular problem, already we have find out the A value after solving those problems. That given data, I have find out A equals to 7.045. If you get the value of A, then put this value A over there and get the what amount of actual air is required. Just put this 7.45 here, 7.045. According to the given problem, you have to find out the value of A and put that value over there. Immediately it will give you the amount of air you need to complete the combustion. Understood? So finally I can write the expression what we have to remember to solve the problem. Hence we can write down the equation that actual air supplied per kg of coal, that is nothing but 32A by 23.2 kg. It is a general expression, and for that example problem whatever we took, that to solve, put the 7.045 over there and 23.2 there, you can get some value. After solving you can see that 9.72 kg will come. So that is the amount of actual amount of air we need to supply. Actual amount of air we need to supply to complete the combustion. Now for the same problem you can find the theoretical amount of air also. For that same data, theoretical for air you can find by using this formula. I think you can copy it from your previous pages. 11.5 C 34.5 H minus O by 8 plus 4.3 S. That expression we have established already. Now put that carbon, what is the value of carbon is given 60%. So 11.5 60% in terms of 1 kg it will be 0.6. Then 34.5 H hydrogen was given how much? 4% I think. Yes. So 0.04 minus O by 8. That oxygen, mind it is the oxygen which is stored inside the fuel. Okay. That value was given in the problem, that is 4.8%, isn't it? What I have noted down? Yes, 4.8%. So 4.048 by 8 plus 4.3, and sulfur percentage was given, that is 3.2%. So it should be 0.032 like this. If you solve this equation, after solving you can check with your calculator, it will give you 8.2106 kg of air. You can see the value of actual amount of air, that is 9.72, and theoretical or minimum amount of air, that is 8.21. So from there obviously you can get that what amount of excess air we supply here. What amount of excess air? So excess air, basically this thing also asked in terms of percentage of excess air. So percentage of excess air is easily can be find out. Suppose this expression I am writing by WA, A for actual. Okay, so WA minus WT divided by WA into 100. So that will give you the expression that, the denominator will be WT. Why? Because that increment, the excess amount is calculated based on what? Based on the minimum value na. এটা যে এক্সেস হয়েছে কার রেসপেক্টে এক্সেস, যার রেসপেক্টে সারপ্লাস তাকে ডিনোমিনেটরে রাখতে হয়। এটা যেন মাথায় থাকে, বাচ্চাবেলায় শেখানো হয়েছিল এগুলো। যখনই তুমি কম্পেয়ার করছো, দ্যাট কম্প্যারিজন based on which parameter, that should come into denominator part. Okay, so this 9.72 minus 8.21, if you calculate, that is the excess amount of surplus amount of air, and that surplus with respect to which value? With respect to minimum value na, এর থেকে বেশি. So that's why WT should come into the bottom part, mind it. Okay, multiplied by 100, so that will be the excess amount of air we need to supply for complete combustion.